Okay, it is 1:33, and as promised, we'll go ahead and get started. I already see some questions here. Oh, there you go. Yes, I'm speaking now. I was being really quiet before. No, Steve, I'm sorry, it's not a CE meeting. I wish it was. And hello, Edward and Cheryl. Hi, everyone. Cheryl, this will probably be about an hour and a half. It's going to depend on how many questions we have, but let's just get into this, and so that everybody can hear our plans moving forward, ask your questions, and then go about the rest of your day. So I just want to start by saying that this is not meant to be a training session. So I don't want you to get frustrated if we're not able to answer training questions. We're going to help you know where to go to get that kind of information on training and so forth, but this is not intended to be a training session. This is an information sharing session to let you know where we are with changes that are being made and what you can expect in the near future, and hopefully to answer all of your questions, because I'm sure that many of you have questions. So if you can put your questions in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. I see that many of you have participated in our town hall meetings in the past, so you already know that's where we want to see your questions. That way we can record them, and if there's any we don't get to, we'll make sure that we can follow up with the answers after the session is over. Also, as you see, that this will be recorded, and you'll be sent a link of where you can find it, or you can go to our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, and all of the videos that we've had before are under our own YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and get started with the important things that I know you want to hear. Fran, if you want to move through Fran's behind the scenes here. If you want to move to the other slides. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our roadmap. We're not going to really go into too much of the class scheduler. That's been done since January, but we are going to talk about Docs Plus, the discontinuation of Transaction Desk, the launch of our new Ad Edit that's coming shortly, and then a surprise one of a launch of a new Paragon MLS system, which, let me hurry up and say, is not instead of the one you currently use. It would be in addition to give you choices. I don't want to make anybody nervous that we're going to take that one away from you too. So let's talk a little bit about where we are. We can show you the picture of our roadmap and the dates that we see these things being accomplished. We launched Docs Plus in May, as you know. We will continue supporting Transaction Desk, that platform, at the end of October. We just extended that from the end of September, and we're going to talk in great detail why we're making that change and what it all means. And then we're launching our brand new Ad Edit module that's coming. Our target is November 9th. We're testing it right now to get it ready for you. And then a launch of a new Paragon MLS system, again, that would be in addition to, and we're looking at that first quarter or early second quarter of 2022. So first, let's talk about Docs Plus and why we're making this change and why RealComp made the decision to move on from Transaction Desk. You have probably all seen a lot of different articles or heard stories or read things where this MLS company is buying this MLS company. And I mean, even large companies like CoreLogic, which is where we get our CO3 from, has been purchased by other companies. It's happening all over the country. And the Board of Governors, we talk about it each month at our meetings, and the Board of Governors said, listen, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can do to protect the MLS data, your data, because that's what makes RealComp who we are, is you as subscribers and your data. So right now, that data sits with CoreLogic and Matrix. And when we need data feeds for certain purposes, we go to Matrix and we say, can we have this kind of data feed? Can we have this? And there's ways that we've worked with them to be able to pull those data feeds ourselves. But the board said that's not quite good enough. We need to bring that data in-house and keep it local. Now, local doesn't mean it's sitting in my office in a corner. It means that we're storing it on the cloud with only our access to it and your access to it when you need it. Because again, that's what makes RealComp the company that we are, is your data. And so we want to make sure that that data is always protected. And so it was important that we begin that transition. And we started this about 2 years ago, because that's how long it takes to rewrite everything we had to rewrite to bring that data in-house. When we got to certain programs we were working with, and we went and said, okay, I'll use Transaction Desk because that's what we're talking about. We said, Transaction Desk, we need you to work with us and sending data that's going to go directly to this new database. Now, a couple of years ago, we already started looking around for a replacement to Transaction Desk based on the number of complaints we were receiving throughout the last probably 3 or 4 years regarding downtime and unresponsiveness with getting your forms loaded. And to be honest with you, the technology that that program sits on is the same technology that it was installed on 13 years ago. Now, for many people, that's okay, because that means it's familiar and you're used to it, and that's good. But in order to move forward, we had to move the technology forward as well with some of these programs that we have. So when we went to Lone Wolf, who's the owner of Transaction Desk, and we said, we need you to change the process to where when our customers go in and they enter a listing and they submit it to us, it comes directly into this new database. And we worked with them probably for the past 1.5 years to accomplish that. And unfortunately, we couldn't get it done. We kept going, hitting these brick walls of where they couldn't get the data to us in the right format. We just went back and forth and back and forth. So we knew we had to make a change, which we were already looking at, again, based on the complaints that we had received over the past years. So now that meant we had to move that project up. We had to move the project up to replace Transaction Desk with a new transaction management and document storage platform. And boy, have we learned a lot. First thing we did, we went to all the large MLSs in the country and we said, what do you use? And what do you use? And what do you use? The majority of them use Docs Plus. And so as we started looking at Docs Plus and we said, can you write to this back end that we need you to write to? The answer was yes, we can do that. We are a standalone system. We can write to any back end. If you change your front end, that means our CO3, the way you pull the data up. If you change that, we can write to whatever the next one is too. So we knew it had the flexibility that we needed to take us into the future. So the decision was made to move to that platform. The decision was made by staff to recommend it to the Board of Governors and then to move forward with making that change. I know how hard this is. I promise you I do, because you have used Transaction Desk for 13 years. When we first installed Transaction Desk, I remember what that was like too, and it was really hard. But let me just tell you a couple of the things we learned right out of the gate. One of the first things we learned is that Transaction Desk isn't necessarily being used today as a true transaction management system. A lot of people are using it strictly for the storage of documents and attaching those documents to the listing, which there's nothing wrong with that. But when we installed Docs Plus, that is a true transaction management system. And you know that because the very first thing you have to do before you can upload any document is to start a transaction. That was being done by Lone Wolf behind the scenes. You just didn't see it. It just didn't add all of the information that you're adding today to make the system smart enough to pre-fill some of those fields. So that was the first thing we learned, although we didn't learn it right away. It took a couple of people that were using the both of them to call us and say, I think this is part of your problem, that we're looking at these as the same thing, and they're not the same thing. So we knew that we had to start talking about how Docs Plus is a true transaction management platform. When we rolled it out, there were a lot of people who said, wait, it doesn't do this, it can't do this, we need it to do this. And we have gone through every email you have sent, every phone call you have made to me or to support. I assure you, all of those things have been put together to go back to Remind and say, here's some enhancements we think will work better. I will never promise you that Docs Plus is going to work exactly the same as transaction management. It won't. There's no system we could buy that's going to work exactly the same as the one we're replacing. But we're doing our best to make sure that it works to give you the same results you want, even if it means you have to get there a different way. And the other thing we've learned that is critically important is now that our training room is open back up, if you come in for training, if you come in for hands-on training, in-person hands-on training, I promise you, you will get so much more information than even watching the videos or having the training online. To come in and have Janine walk you through from start to finish, and I'm going to say that the majority of you on this call know Janine well, and Tora, to have them walk you through from start to finish what this process is about and how it works, you will leave here knowing much more and understanding much better how the system works from front to back. So I encourage you, if you haven't done that yet, to go to the homepage of RCO3 where you'll see the class scheduler. We have classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 times a day each day, for you to come on in and sit in our training room. We welcome you back and get the training that you need. Time's getting short here because we really want you to do that by the end of October. So those are the things that led to the decision. Now, one of the questions I've had was, were there other programs considered? Absolutely. We looked at the other programs. First of all, there's not a lot that can do all the things that both Transaction Desk and Remind can do. The submission of the listings. And we worked for many years with Transaction Desk to master that process of you being able to go in and fill out the form and hitting that button that says submit to MLS. So there's not a lot of systems out there that can do what we need it to do. And because we're on a schedule, which I'm going to talk a little bit about some other changes that are coming, we knew that we had, and there's contractual obligations that we have to look at with these applications as well, which always plays a part. I wish it didn't, but it does. That's the business side of it. And so we knew that we were on a schedule to say, okay, we really need something to be completed by the 3rd quarter of this year. We extended it a little into the 4th quarter, but we won't be able to extend it past that. So we need for you to get trained. I promised if you come in, I promise you that you will get a much better understanding of how the system works. And then if you have suggestions, you can walk through that with Janine. And maybe she already has the answers to that to be able to say, we know how you do that. Here's how that's accomplished. Or if there's suggestions I can take back to Remind, then we can do that. Like I said, we've made a lot of changes already, and we won't stop looking at those enhancements, even if it means doing things a little bit differently than what they had originally thought we would be doing them. We're okay with that, but we can't make it look and feel exactly the same way as Transaction Desk. It's new and it's different, and it's going to be different. There's nothing that we can do to make that not the case. So again, we did look at other programs. Now, some of the benefits of Docs Plus is that it sits on this much more recent technology base. So it's upgraded technology. The smart forms work really well when you learn how to maneuver through those. They work great. And it's a standalone program that can work with anything we plug in. If 6 months from now we have Edwards MLS, that's just for you, Edward. Edwards MLS comes along and it's a much better product, we'll be able to plug right into that and continue working through whatever front end that we want to work with. I'm sure there will be some changes, but my point is it's actually much more flexible and better for us moving forward to have that type of program that can be a standalone program. So I see some questions coming in. If you don't mind, I'm going to wait until we're done, and then we're going to go back and we'll respond to all of your questions. So we've been asked, what if agents and brokers still want to use Transaction Desk? Will you have the same functionality? Is there a cost? So as I explained early, one of the issues we had was that Transaction Desk was unable to write the program so far to where it would hit our back end where the data sits. And we need that data to be there. We have worked with them to be able to give them access to our data, to be able to continue to pre-fill forms for those who want to use it. But here's my caution. As of the end of this month, you will no longer be able to go into Transaction Desk, pull up a RealComp profile form because they're all changing, and fill it out and hit a submit button and have that come directly into RealComp. That will not work. It will come back maybe after the first of the year because we have to continue working with Transaction Desk. We have all new profile forms that are coming. Again, we're going to get to that in just a minute. And they have to program all of the changes, and then we have to work with them to make sure that listing can come into RealComp. Here's what would happen. You would still, if you wanted to use Transaction Desk, once we get this piece figured out again, either late this year or early next, you would pull up the profile form, you would fill out the form, you would be able to hit a submit button, it would come into RealComp, but it would sit in our, what you know now is partial save, but that terminology is being changed to say incomplete. It would sit in that status until you went into RCO3, into our new ad edit, and said, there's my listing. Now I want to submit it to RealComp. At that point, it does all those checks. It says, are there only numbers in the price? Are there only letters in this field? Well, all those little checks and balances that you have to do for your listing. And then you would be finished. So it's going to be possible. It'll be different, but it'll be possible, but it won't be possible right away. It will only be possible after we switch to our new ad edit and they have an opportunity to reprogram all of our forms, and then they'll be able to offer that to you. I don't know what the cost is. It wouldn't be through us. You'd have to negotiate that directly with Transaction Desk. And again, my caution is that you won't be able to use it in the way you use it today for a while. So if you say, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to buy it, that certainly is your choice. That's a business decision you need to make, but you won't be able to do the same things with it that you do today. We have negotiated with them their ability to come and grab PRD to pre-fill the forms. But again, those are all things we have to work out once we launch our new ad edit. So that won't be available right away. Questions have come in that say, will we continue to support Transaction Desk? And the answer is no. We will no longer be under contract with them. So if you have questions on how to use that platform, you would need to call them directly. And that is the case as of October 31st. We will no longer be supporting that product. Will other transaction management programs work with RealComp? Anytime a broker or agent comes to us and says, you know, I found this really great new product, in this case, a transaction management product, and I really want to use it to work with RealComp. We will certainly sit down with that vendor and figure out what's involved. I can never promise that we'll work with everybody. Again, it depends on what's involved. It depends on the resources we have available, but we want to make sure you can use what you want to use. Now, I want you to be able to use what we provide for you, because I hate for you to have to go spend money on something else. But if what we're providing for you is not what you want, then again, I understand that. It's a business decision you'll have to make. So I hope that you'll give it a chance, get in here for training. Please come in for training. And I think you'll feel much better about it. But the clock is ticking. So we need for you to go ahead and sign up and come on in for that training, and so that you'll be ready at the end of the month. So speaking of training, we have a lot of resources that are available for training. We have on-site hands-on training. Our corporate website includes links to lots of different training documents. In the application itself of Docs Plus, there's help in there. Our YouTube channel has short, specific videos. Let's say you're sitting at your desk and you say, I just want to know how to upload a document. You can go to our YouTube channel and you can find that video that's just uploading a document, like a 2-minute video that shows you exactly how to do that. So use the resources that are available, including, there you go, thanks, Fran, including coming in for training. Here's all the places that you'll be able to go for help in using Docs Plus, and soon to be using the new Add Edit program, because that's coming in November, and we're going to talk about that next. So I know this is a lot of information, and I know I talk really fast, I'm sorry. But again, whatever questions you have, don't hesitate to add them under the Q&A at the bottom, and I promise we will try to answer every question you have. So now let's talk a little bit about the new Add Edit module. Oh my goodness, why are you changing how we add listings? The National Association of Realtors put together a group called RESO, which is Real Estate Standards, good grief, what's the O stand for? Anyway, it's National Standards for Real Estate Data. And what that means is we call it a bedroom. So what does the state of Wisconsin call it? Well, they call it a sleeping room. And so anybody who has the need for data feeds from different places around the country, we're going crazy trying to figure out, what are all these fields? What do all these fields mean? Why are they all different? So the National Association of Realtors said, we need standards. We need standards that everybody follows in the entire country. That is a big task. Let me tell you, there are some things that I thought we would never use that. I think I used the example of there's a fire pit in the middle of the beach. I mean, you know, no, I don't think we would need that. Here's the point. We have to upgrade to include these fields. We don't have to upgrade to include these fields as mandatory fields, but they have to be included for you to fill in if it applies to your property. In addition to that, you know, we share data with many MLSs around us, and some of these MLSs have fields that we don't. And when they send us information in one of these fields that they have that we don't, and we get it and say, well, that's probably important, what are we going to do with it? We don't know where to put that. So we don't usually put it anywhere because we don't have a place to put that information. So the Add Edit, and that's the way you will add listings. There's only going to be one way for you to add listings, and that's through Add Edit. And it is the same thing as filling out a form or using RealComp's input. You will go in to Add Edit and you'll fill out the form, and it's going to have the drop downs, and it's going to have the, you know, the feature groups the same way, but there's going to be a lot more options for you. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear. You don't have to fill in everything, but you have an opportunity now to fill in information you didn't have the opportunity to fill in before. And you'll have an opportunity to see that data on the listing forms in Remine, and eventually on RCO3. That's not coming till next year because we can only do one of these giant projects at a time. And then in the meantime, you'll be able to see it on Paragon, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. So there are several of you who have volunteered to beta test for us. And so we're just getting ready next week to launch our beta test for Add Edit. So really, we're looking right now at the fields. Is this field right in terms of the length? Is it field right in terms of this? What we want our customers, you, to test is the experience. When you're going through and adding a listing, does it flow well? Does it work right? One of the new things that we'll have, something that we've been asked for a long time, is a link at the end of your listing that says, click here to invite your photographer to upload your photos for you. And you can then send that link to your photographer. When they click it, the only thing they can do, the only option, they can't go in and mess with anything, they can't look at anything, they can just add your photos for you. So if you employ a photographer on a regular basis, every time you finish the listing, you can send that link and they'll be able to upload your photos. They won't be able to upload virtual tours right away, but will come shortly. It might be there, but I don't think so. It probably will come shortly after we launch. So again, new look, new feel, new fields, more information, and it will put us right with NAR standards of the real estate standards, which organization is the O now that it just clicked, the Real Estate Standards Organization. And all of the MLSs around the country are eventually going to be held to those standards. People are already moving there right now. So this is an important change. Some of the fields you would never use, that's okay. You don't have to. We will not make them mandatory, but it is going to be different. And that's one of the reasons why we put the launch off until November, because we're thinking that's a little bit slower time. You told us when we were looking at Remine in the summer, it was too busy. You couldn't make that change then. So we pushed that back, which then pushed back Ad Edit. So that's a good thing because it'll be a little slower then and you'll be able to learn the new system. It's really just fill in the blanks. It pops up and you fill in the blanks just like you do now. You'll be able to print it. You'll be able to email it, everything that you can do with it today. But again, there's only one way that you'll be able to put the listings in initially. Eventually, we'll continue that work with Transaction Desk, but that won't be available to you right away. When you look at this slide in number 3, it says hard cutover. That means this one's turned off and this one's turned on. We don't really like hard cutovers, but I don't have a choice because I need all that data to come into this new database. So it will be a hard cutover. If you have listings out there right now that are in the partial save status, we'll keep advising you that up between now and November 9th, you need to do something with them, like make them live, because you won't be able to use them after we move to the new system. So if you have like 4 listings in partial save, you're going to have to put those 4 listings in again. We have another town hall scheduled in November, on November 4th, which is going to be a demo of the Ad Edit. So you can go online and register for that as well. And we try to make them today, we're doing this one this afternoon. Tomorrow we're doing one in the evening. We're trying to make it as accommodating as possible so that everybody has an opportunity to participate. So as soon as the training is available, make sure you register for classes. This one will be a little bit easier because again, the field comes up, you fill in the field. It's kind of the same thing as you're doing today. It's just going to be more information. Okay, so what else is on the horizon? Why not? Paragon. There are many MLSs around us that use the Paragon system. Paragon is an MLS system like your RCO3. And we've had the request from some around us to say, if you would offer Paragon, then we could join RollComp 2 and we wouldn't have to learn a new front-end MLS system. I can't express enough how this is not instead of, it is in addition to. So when we install Paragon, you'll be able to go in, take a look and say, yeah, I like the one I have better, or this one looks pretty nice. I might try this one for a while. You'll have that option. And there may be another one that comes along. Maybe Edwards MLS is going to come along after that. And we're going to want to plug that in too. This whole design that we're making gives us that flexibility to say, here's a new program. We think it works well. We can plug into it because we now have that standalone database that is not dependent on any one vendor. And that is, it may not sound as important as it really is, but it truly is an important step moving forward to make sure that we can stay current with the technology that's out there. One of the things that we've been charged with here at RollComp is to provide a statewide MLS database, where not a statewide MLS necessarily, but a database of all the MLS data in the whole state. And we're working hard to do that. You know, last year or the year before, we added Mishrick again. We had them, then they left. But now that data is incorporated. That's the whole west side of the state, including Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo and Western Michigan. So that all of that data, however, comes into one database. Again, that's why it's so important that we have this in-house database so that you can go in and say, I'm going to do one search. I want all the listings in this area, and everything comes up regardless of the source it came from. Some of the other MLSs around us, you can search Real Comp or this MLS or this MLS. We work really hard to make sure you come in and do one search and get one set of results, so that you know that you're getting all of the options that are available for your buyers or sellers. And we're going to continue to try to grow that. You know, we're already in talks with a couple MLSs again around us. It can be difficult, but we're not going to give up. We're going to keep trying and keep those communications open. And hopefully you'll see some news in the near future where we're adding more and more. So we will be adding, it's referred to as MLS system of choice, and that it's exactly what it means, that you'll have the choice of using Paragon or RCO3. And that will be coming, like I said, late first quarter, early second of 2022. So lastly, and then we're going to get to questions. Boy, I talk really fast. Some additional updates. We have hired new support staff. You know that we were short-staffed. I was very upfront and honest about that. We were short-staffed over the summer, and it was hard, and it was hard for you, and you were on hold, and it was a very difficult time. We have hired staff. I will tell you, one of the most difficult things after you find somebody to hire is training them. We have so many things that we offer that we want to make sure that they're trained 100% before we send them out on the phones on their own. So we have hired additional staff. We will be going back to those pre-summer hours as of November 1st. So right now we had to cut those hours in order to provide better service because we were short-staffed, but we will be back to our regular hours, and that's 8 a.m. through 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday is 8 to 7 and Sunday 11 to 6. If at any point we see that, let's use, for example, from 5 to 6 on Sunday, we've had 0 calls for the past 5 or 6 weeks, then we'll probably shorten that time and use that staff at another time where the calls are more plentiful. So we watch that stuff so we can try to make sure we have enough people. I know a lot of you, again, you were on hold, you were hung up on, you didn't get your questions answered. I apologize for that. We didn't like having to change the hours, but we felt that that was one of the things we could do to try to get more people on the phones at one time. Again, the training room is now open for hands-on training. We're focused pretty much on Docs Plus and then Add It right now. So the other training, if you're new and you want training on just rules and regs and those types of things, that would be virtual training for you. We welcome you to come in and spend a couple hours with us. Our offices are officially closed. You can still make an appointment when you get here and it looks dark in here. We're still here. We just, for safety's sake, we just don't have the front door open for people to come in and out. The training room is open. Janine's in there waiting for you, and she will welcome you and get you set up and ready for training. So that's all I have on my list. So Fran, if you want to go ahead and go, and I don't know how many of you know Fran. She's not going to show us. Let's see your little face, Fran. Here she comes. There's Fran. Fran and I have worked together for, oh my goodness, more years than I can probably count. And so she's awesome. And she's our marketing manager, and she's responsible for putting all these things together, and she does a great job. So let's pull up some questions, Fran, and see what we have. You want me to pull them up, or you want to pull them up?
Okay, I've got them up on my screen, but.
Okay, I got them too.
Okay.
Okay, when will Docs Plus be running smoothly without glitches? We don't have any glitches that have been reported that are not corrected. So this one I struggle with. If it's something that's not working the way you want it to work or the way you think it would work, I can't call that a glitch. So I think you'd have to contact us and let us know exactly what you're referring to, or you can, if you want to type it in here, I probably can't answer it here because that would be more on the training and support end, but I can get an answer for you. Jeff, are you saying it was taking 6 months to get office forms on transaction desk? I believe you are, and that's one of the complaints we had, Jeff, why we had to start looking around. And the women that are amazing, I know you're talking about Janine and Tora. So yeah. Can you give us day and time for the in-person training? You would have to go to the RCO3 homepage and click on the registration there, and you'll see a list of all of the classes that are available, and sign up for the one that sign up for the one that fits your schedule. Kurt, you have training for Wednesday at 9 a.m. Can I do that live in your training room? We'll have to find out, Kurt. We don't know. I think it's probably far enough in advance that we can see. I don't know how many people you have, but we try to keep it to 12 to 16 people at a time, but I can certainly see. And then we'll get back with you and let you know. We'll forward your question to Janine or Tora. Okay, Larry, that's kind of a training question. If you have a page that needs to be signed and dated, we'll get you that response. Yes, someone from training or support can help you with that. Absolutely, but we'll get you an answer to that. Okay, ongoing Remind Docs Plus issues in the program. Again, Lauren, I would need more specifics. What we're learning is where some think there are glitches or problems or issues, they're really just things that are done differently. And so I would need something more specific so that we can respond to that. And as far as assurances of their in-house support team, I have 100%. I'm positive that they can respond because they've shown us that already. Why does Remind show access to properties all over the US when we are not licensed to practice? That data, Shelley, is not properties that are for sale. That's data that comes in through public record data, because they also store all the public record data for us and have access to that information. So it's just an expanded database to give you access to it if you're looking for it. It's not necessarily these are properties that are available for sale. It's that you have access to that data if there's something you want to see. Bill, we spend much time and money to have our transaction forms uploaded to transaction desk. Listen, if you haven't sent us your forms, send those forms to us right now. You don't have to pay to have them uploaded, and we're negotiating moving forward, what that's going to cost. But right now, you send us your forms, and you can send them to support. You can send them to T. Cummings, TCUMMINGS at corp.realcomp.com, and she will, in most cases, the forms are being uploaded within a day or two. So if you have not sent your forms, make sure you send them. If there's any problem with the form, Tammy will contact you and tell you exactly what she needs. So please make sure that you send them to us right now and get them in there so you'll be able to use them. As far as paying moving forward, we're working that out right now. Right now, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to pay for them, and we're going to continue to work on that. Yes, Edward is asking, will input still work for listings from November 1st through the 9th? Yes, Edward, you can continue to upload your listings the same way you do today until we release the new ad edit, which will be on November 9th. So although I tell you that we will no longer support transaction desk as of the 31st, and that's accurate, we will not turn it off, so to speak, until we release the new ad edit and make sure everything's working there. Pardon me while I take a drink. Okay, and it's water, by the way. Can admins request transactions for their team members So Colleen, I think you're asking me if you can request from transaction desk the transactions that are in there for a team member. The email has to come from the owner of the transactions. So it has to come from, if you could use their email, but it has to come from that person before they will release them. And that's for legal purposes. They don't want to be releasing somebody else's transactions to a different person. So I understand that. I get that. So they would have to do it themselves. Will Remind allow me to download the docs and upload them into my .loop? We have worked with .loop, Jeffrey, and they have access to our forms right now. So you're asking if you can download the forms out of Docs Plus and then upload. I know you can download them out of Docs Plus. I can't answer the uploading them into .loop. I'm going to say that you probably can, because knowing .loop, I'm pretty sure that that they've made that accommodation, and we've given them access to our forms too, Jeffrey. They have all of our profile forms. I don't know if they haven't programmed yet, but we've given them access to those as well. So I know you can download the docs and then upload them into .loop. I'm going to say probably, because I think that they're probably at that point where they can do that. You'd have to check that part with .loop. Hi, Mary. Clarify how we'll upload listings from the 31st to November 9th. Okay. Obviously, what we wanted to do was to roll out the new listing ad edit on November 1st, but we added another week. Until November 9th, you will upload your listings exactly the way you do it today. Exactly the way you do it today until November 9th. And I believe we probably should post something about that, Fran. So you need to go ahead and just do it either through input, or you'll be able to still use transaction desk until the 9th. Will we be able to still download and save the files transaction desk mailed to us after the 31st? Yes. Here's what we did. When we talked to transaction desk, we said we want you to be able to have access to all of your transactions for as long as you can. So when you send them an email and ask for them, I think right now you'll get a little solicitation back. That's okay. Just tell them, yep, I want my transactions. And once they send them to you, save that email, because in that email are links to each of your transactions. You would then click that link in order to open the transaction and have access to all the documents in there. We have negotiated with them to make sure that link is a live link for at least a year. So yes, you'll be able to still click on those links and get your transactions that they emailed to you after the 31st. Brad wants to know if the fees are going to change. I'm hoping, Brad, that you're asking if the fees are going to go up. So I can say, no, the fees are not going to go up. We're working on the budget for next year right now. And I can tell you that in the budget I'm preparing for the Board of Governors right now, we're not looking at any change in the user fees. So I hope that answers your question. Can we see the interface you're referring to? If you're asking, can you see add edit yet? No, I don't have, I'm not able to show you that through this type of forum. But we'll have that available for you just as soon as we can get it. We'll get it in your hands. You'll be able to look at it. You'll be able to get training on it. Why does Remind allow phone numbers on the do not call registry to be visible? Well, they shouldn't. They do check that. Sometimes it takes a while for those to get registered as do not call. I have clients getting calls and texts from realtors when asked where they got the numbers, they dodge the question. I guess you're assuming they get them from Remind? I don't know. If you have some examples of that, Shelley, and you want to send it to me, I would be happy to contact Remind and ask them to look into it, and we could probably get you an answer, but I would need some examples. Where do we go to get a training schedule? Again, go to the home page of RCO3, and oh, look at Fran's going to take you there right now. She's flipping around. She's going to show you. All right, there we go. You'll be able to go to the homepage of RCO3 and you'll be able to get the schedule there for scheduling a class. Oh, she's going to show you too. I'll keep answering questions while she pulls that up. Kurt, so are we looking at a national MLS? No, just national standards for the MLS. I think it started, Kurt, with vendors to give them easy access to, let's say you're using, oh, let me figure somebody out that might be a national vendor you want to use. Let's look at HomeSnap. I don't know how you feel about HomeSnap, but let's look at HomeSnap. So when HomeSnap gets a data feed from all the MLSs that participate with it, every single MLS sends them a different looking data feed. This one's called this one's called this. So it's really meant to standardize all of that information to where vendors or others can get one data feed, and it's more standardized. And it even within the state of Michigan, for Pete's sake, you can't get one data feed and have everything flow the same way. So it was really meant to just standardize the data. So we're not looking at a national MLS right now. Right now, it's hard enough to try to get a statewide MLS. So we'll start there, and then we can see what happens after that. Okay, the system is more complicated on uploading documents for realtors to see. We can't see when a realtor views them. Yeah, that part is not there. You no longer get that message that says so-and-so viewed your documents. And at this point, I'll be very upfront to say it probably isn't going to be there. We are working with them, but that's not something that's at the top of the list of priorities right now. One way you upload the docs doesn't allow you to share with everyone. One way does. I think, Patrice, I'd love for you to come in for some training with us, please, because I think that these issues are resolved, and I think that we can help you there. So I really hope you'll sign up and come in for training. I don't want you to be frustrated. You got too much to do to be frustrated with putting your documents online. So I really hope that you'll sign up for some classes. If you find that you need answers to some of these questions now and you can't wait, then call support or send your questions into support and we'll get you some answers. Okay, we really need to separate condos from co-ops. Let me think about this, because I think the new system does. Does it, Fran? Isn't there a separate place? I think co-ops are going to have, Shelley, I believe they're going to have, it's like a separate entry. It's no longer a feature code under where you see in condos today, but we're going to get you an answer to that. So I think the new ad edit does that. Will the Fannie Mae forms be made available in Remind Docs? That's a really good question. If you have a contact at Fannie Mae, John, that I can get a hold of and see if we can get those forms, then we'll make them available. So if you can send me a contact, we'll find out how to make those forms available. Once photos uploaded, will we have the option to rearrange them as we see fit? You're going to find that the uploading of photos on Ad Edit is so much easier than what you do today on RCO3. So much easier, and you'll like it a lot better. And yes, you can rearrange them. You'll like it much better. It's very intuitive, and it just makes more sense. Deborah, will we finally be able to see info from Ann Arbor and Macomb listings? Again, I'm going to guess at this, and that is info that is on the listing in Ann Arbor, but not in RealComp because we didn't have any place to put it. Yes, we are adding fields to be able to accommodate our data share partners to be able to have more of those fields and that data available to you. It's one of the things that started pushing us to have to start this database. So yes, we will have more information available to you according to what our partners are sending us. Jeffrey wants to know about my company logo. How will this suffix on you? I think you can add your company logo yourself now, Jeffrey. But let me get you that information too. And you can either send it to us, or I think you can add it yourself, but we'll get you the answer to that. When trainings are designed, it would be really nice if it was platform specific, iPad versus PC. Okay, that's maybe something we can do in the future, Shelley. Right now, we're trying to get as many people in as possible. So we probably can't separate it right now, but that may be something we can look at in the future. You know, if we had 10 people signed up and only one was on a iPad, I wouldn't want to tell the other 9 they couldn't come. So, but that may be something we can look at. Arvid wants to know, is Paragon a Black Knight product? Yes. Who is the vendor for RCO3? That would be CoreLogic. RCO3 will continue to be always available. Well, if you're asking me if it's going to be available in 10 years, I can't answer that. But we're not looking at getting rid of RCO3 in the near future. I didn't want that. I did not want that to panic anyone. What we're looking at is adding options for you in addition to, not instead of. When we do trainings that show us how to use the platform, they should make an effort to work in sequence realtors really use. You're right, we should, and we are trying to do that. We've worked with some realtors to show us that procedure, and so you're right, we should do that, and hopefully we are doing that. If you've come to training and you're not seeing that, then you need to let me know that. But we are attempting to do that, Shelley. We've talked to realtors about that. When will we be able to email as a PDF? I thought you already could. Let me get you an answer to that, Jeff. So you're getting into the training part of things, and but let me get you an answer to that. With all the updates and changes, will the cost of real comp go up again? Right now, I'm working on next year's budget that I will sit down with our board, and we're not proposing a change. It's never my answer at the end, but I will tell you I'm not proposing a change in the fees. When will Docs Plus accommodate listers and co-listers to both appear on the forums and the PAs? I believe there's a way you can do that, Mike. You can add them at the top under people. If that's something you want on your forms on a regular basis, to add both of them, you can add them and send the forms back to us. And then when you add people, you'll just add them as another person and put that they're a co-lister. But let me make sure of that and we'll get that answer. But I think you can do that now. I think you just have to change your form to accommodate both if it's not there already. And then you can add them at the top under people. RealComp has put warnings about the issues in the past. I'm not sure which issues. I can't answer you, Lauren. I'm not sure which issues. If you could be more specific, then hopefully I can answer that for you. Penny would like to schedule for a team of 12. You need to go in through the training schedule, Penny, and see if you can do that, or call RealComp and talk to a member of our training team. And then I'm sure they'll be able to accommodate you. It's just a matter of when. So you can call and ask for somebody in training. When you call right in at the beginning, you'll get the option of going to training and talking to one of the trainers there. And I'm confident that they can accommodate you. And it's a great way to do it, is to bring everybody in at once. When you link for your photographer to upload photos, will you be able to self-edit the photo orders or manage them? I'm going to say yes, but I haven't seen that yet. So because we haven't had a vendor come in and add them yet, but I'm going to say yes, you can. And if I find out that the answer to that is no, I will let you know. But I think once the photos are in there, at any point, you can go and edit the order and manage those photos. When do you recommend that we transfer all of our files from Transaction Desk to Remind? Okay, I need to be really, really clear on this. You will not be transferring your old transactions out of Transaction Desk into Remind. You will be downloading a file that has your transactions in it from Transaction Desk and storing that email somewhere. You will not upload them in Remind. If you can, but they will not be a usable, workable transaction. They will just be a PDF. So when you get them out of Transaction Desk, store that email so you can have it and go back to it if you need it. But, oh, I see what Lauren's saying. You won't necessarily upload them into Remind because they're not, you wouldn't be uploading them in a usable format. It would be a PDF. Okay, so now Lauren, I understand. Unable to upload documents when a listing is closed. Reported multiple times, RoComp has put up warnings about this issue still occurring. Okay, here's what's going on. Right now, when you go into a listing and at the end of that listing and you click that button that says upload docs and it takes you somewhere else and you think, oh shoot, that's not how I get there anymore. That listing is open. You have to hit the cancel button at the bottom of the page to close the listing. I realize that you're thinking, I didn't go into the listing, I just pulled it up. And the same way I always go in to upload docs. It is opening it because that's how it uploaded the documents before. You have to hit the cancel button at the bottom. When you hit the cancel button, it closes it and then you'll be able to upload the docs. I promise you, it will work 10 out of 10 times. That's what that issue is. And if it's something else and I'm not addressing it, then please let me know. But I believe that's exactly what it is. Okay, Sherry, is there only one class we need for now? Remind Docs 101. Yep, and then there's a 201 you'll want to, but right now just take the 101. Shelley, I understand access, but it's an overreach, gives access to way too much info. Well, I think you're probably talking about the data around the country that they pull up. So, yeah, that's part of what they offer. And yeah. By the way, would be possible to rename the those stand form to make it easier to find. By the way, would be possible to rename. I don't know which form you're talking about, Bill. Maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe you could clarify it. If you clarify it for me, I'll get you an answer. Okay, Colleen. Yes, you're welcome, Colleen. Bella, you know, you and I had this conversation, I know, and I know you're not thrilled with the change. I know, and I know that you want things to be automatic. I can't automatically make documents public and then have you go back and say it's not public. It has to be the way it is. There's not an attorney that I know that would tell me I can change that. It has to be the way it is. There's some documents that are in there that should never be made public. And even if they're only public for a minute, there's too much liability on our end. So I can't make that change. You know, I can try to streamline that a little bit, but there's not much else I can do there. When you have an active listing or partial save listing, it should automatically generate whatever the program needs to allow us to upload your docs. Well, let's see how the new one works and see how that works together. It's not going to be exactly the way you do it today again, but it'll be better than it is today because it's two entirely different programs that you're using to add listings and to upload docs. So let's see how it works moving forward. And I think it'll be streamlined somewhat for you. And hopefully that'll make it a little bit better for you, Bella. You know I love you and I'd love to make it work exactly the way you want it to work. I'm not going to be able to make all the changes that everybody wants. Sorry. Pam, if you had Lone Wolf download transaction docs, but you've added some, can you request just so you can try? You can try and tell them you only need them since this and this. They might send you a whole new email, Pam, with all your transactions in it again, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Just keep that email. Keep that email. Make sure you keep the email because you need to be able to then click the link on those to open up the docs on all of those transactions. So keep that email. Keep it someplace safe. Don't put it somewhere like you're, you know, someplace that gets purged every 30 days or something. So keep it someplace safe. Jeffrey, if I can download them out of Docs Plus, then I'm gold. Excellent. You were asking me about .loop, then you should be good. Feeling like we should schedule one last transaction download on November 8th. I'm not sure I'd wait that long, Colleen, because it's taken a little bit of time for you to get those transactions, but yeah, you can try. You know, you might want to try a little bit before that and then stop putting any more transactions in there and put them into Docs Plus. We are a multiple office firm. Will an admin or office manager be able to see all transactions for users of all offices? I'm not sure, Jeff. I need to find out for you. I'm going to say yes, because you know Tammy has been working with that, but let me make sure for you, Jeff. Let me make sure. Submitted my request to transaction desk, received a respond email, but there's no attachment. It wouldn't be an attachment. Go further down the email and you'll see the links. You'll see all of the links. And that's your transactions. And then they disappeared from transaction desk. Where are they now? I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know exactly what you did. You may want to call support quickly before the end of the month and let us see if we can help you with that. But we can maybe get them to reinstate your transactions to get you another email, but they're probably in the email. It's not an attachment. Like I said, they're just links at the bottom of that email that link to each of your transactions. Karen, it took only 1 minute to export my contacts and import into Remind. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you. Yay. When I access MLS disclosures, Remind only gives option of downloading and not just viewing. You know, now this is one that that has been common, that we've heard, that you don't want to have to download it if you just want to view it, or you don't want to have to download it, you just want to go print. And I get that, and we are working with them. I'm not going to make any promises, but we are working, because you don't want to download it if it's not what you want. Shelley, you are 100% right. It was not made to work that way, but we are working with them to see if we can't get that to work a little better in terms of, can I just see it or can I just print it? So we are working with them. I make no promises. I just make the promise that we're trying to see if, because that one is common. We hear that one quite a bit. There's a YouTube video with the ad edit. Well, there you go. It's a YouTube. Do we have a YouTube video, Fran, with ad edit? You're muted, Franny.
Yeah, it's more of a demo type video. But there are other MLSs out there that have, you know, put up videos on their ad edit. So,
okay. Well, there you go. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for poking around out there. Arvid, if I withdraw a listing on 10/29 and then on 11/11 want to restate the active, how will that work? You'll go into the new ad edit and you'll change the status. It'll work just like you do now, except that changing the status will be done differently than you do it today, because it'll be done through the new ad edit. Shelley does, I'm not sure what Shelley does, but I don't know what that was for. So if you can tell me if you're all set, Shelley, then we're good. Karen, my clauses were copied from transaction desk to Remind in May, and I recently added some of my new ones to Remind. This has been easy, and your support has resolved problems with the address and the legal problem. That's awesome, Karen. Thank you for that positive message. Thank you. Our support staff has been working really hard to learn the system inside and out, and thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. Reggie, will the impersonate function work the same for brokers as it does currently in transaction desk? You as a broker or your admin will be able to upload documents on behalf of the agents in your office. I believe that's what you're asking, Reggie. We have made changes to that process to make that easier, but yes, the impersonate function will work the same. I don't know exactly how it works in transaction desk, but you have that option in Docs Plus to impersonate as well. So I'll leave it that way. Does RCO3 stand for Real Comp 3? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There was Real Comp. The O stands for Real Comp Online. There was Real Comp Online, and then there was Real Comp Online 2, and then there was Real Comp Online 3. Yes. I just did this yesterday. I've uploaded the docs, but when you upload them one way, it doesn't allow someone to see them. Just wanted you to know, you have to make them public, Patrice. You have to go back and give access to everyone to see them. Once you have uploaded the docs, you have to then go in and make them public. That's a step that's always going to be there. I don't think I can get rid of that. So you'll have to do that. You have to make sure you make them public. Can we email seller's disclosure and lead-based paint docs to RealComp and have them uploaded by your staff? You mean, if you're mean for a specific listing, Bella, no, you'll have to do those yourself. We'll help you do it. We'll help you walk through uploading them to your listing. If you're asking if you can send us a blank form that you want to use and have us upload it for access by you, that would have to come from your broker, and then we can do it. But we're not going to upload the documents for you at this point. I can tell you that we will, and there's a fee attached to it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that we're going to walk you through how to do it, and you're going to see that it's not so bad. I promise, Bella. Any out-of-state reciprocal system we have access to. There are some MLSs that participate in the CoreLogic, the heck is the name of that thing? If you go under external links on, oh, thank you, CoreLogic data sharing. Look at Fran, partner applications right there, the data co-op. And in that co-op, you have access to some other MLSs around the country. So you can take a look there and see what's available. You're welcome, Deborah. The only in-person training I see for Docs is for Docs Plus one-on-one. What about in-person training for edit? That's not available yet, Jane. Can't sign up for that yet. Once that's made available, you'll get bombarded with information on how to sign up for that, because Fran likes to make sure you're all in the know, and she will make sure of that. Jeffrey, iPad, I use Chrome. I haven't had any issues. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Many websites have live chat pop-ups when they see you struggling with use. This might be a nice feature for a while. Well, we actually have that available. I don't know if Remind has it available, but it may be there. I think you can, if you go look in the lower right-hand corner, it might be there, Shelley. I know we have it in RCO3. We don't have it turned on all the time because we don't really get a lot of requests for it. Especially when we have full staff on the phones and you can call us and get an answer right away, which is the way we really want it. But I think you might see that. But if not, then we will take that under advisement. Jane, can I still submit a request to get my old transactions? Yep. There are some instructions, Jane, that are on the website, our corporate site. I think Fran's moving around. She's going to show you. I see her. And it shows you what to type in the email and how. Oh, excellent, Fran. Let me move this so I can see. There we go. Right there. Transition from transaction. There you go. And you'll see how to get your transactions from transaction desk. Now, again, you're not going to be uploading them into Remind. You can, but you won't be able to use them as a transaction. So I would say that if you have any open transactions in transaction desk today, finish them out, close them, and don't add any more. Move over to Docs Plus. Let us help you do that. That's our job, is to help you do that. Andy, the old photos program, you were able to enhance the photos. Will that be available? The old photos program, as in the one that's there today, you were able to enhance the photos? I'm not sure, Andy. Let me find out exactly what is available through the photos. We haven't spent a lot of time on that quite yet. So let me find out for sure. And I'll get that answer for you. Mary, how confident are you that Ad Edit will be ready November 9th? Last several months, I feel like a bit like crying wolf on a changeover. Okay. I understand why you would feel that way, Mary. Some of the delays were put in at the request of all of you, saying you were too busy, you didn't have time to learn the new system. I'm as confident as I can be that we'll be ready on November 9th. It kind of depends on what we find in the testing, but I'm as confident as I can be. Now, if on November 9th, let's say on November 8th, it's not ready, I'm not going to roll it out if it's not ready. I'm not going to do that. But I am as confident as I can be. You've been through a couple of these with us, so you know that it's hard sometimes to predict everything that might happen. But I'm sorry that we've made you feel like we're crying wolf. It's mainly a lot of the delays were, again, to accommodate the requests we were getting from some of our customers. So, the only document I refer to that should auto be published is right now we have to, thanks, Bella. It is difficult, Bella, for the system to be, it's smart, but it's not smart enough to go, oh yeah, that one's automatic and that one's automatic. We're looking at making some of those things a little bit better for you. So give us a minute and let's see what we can do. And you know I'm going to do my best for you, Bella. You and I go way back like I do with so many of you, and we're going to do the best we can to make this. We knew how big this change was when we went in. We knew it was a big one, and the next one too. But we'll do the best we can. I understand what you're asking. Sherry, how do we request our transactions? Look at that screen right here when we're, that Fran has. She's moving through. You can go to, this is on our corporate site. You can go to, where would they go to, Fran? Under news and events, to your 7-step checklist for a smooth move to Remind Docs. And you'll be able to find how you request your transactions to be emailed to you. You're not asking us, you're asking Transaction Desk. They won't send them to us. You have to request them yourself.
Karen.
Yes.
We've got announcements on RCO3 that includes links to the 7 steps. But if they come to the corporate website and they see this banner ad, you know, that will take them to the Docs Plus area of the corp site. And if they just come over to the link transition from Transaction Desk to Docs Plus, it talks about that 7-step checklist and training. And
perfect.
So
perfect.
There.
Thanks, Fran. Perfect. Bella, if when we look at a listing, it's considered open, we can't upload docs until it's closed. Okay, it's not just if you're looking at a listing, Bella, it's when you go in the way you used to go in to upload docs. But let me just say this, all of that goes away with the new ad edit. It all goes away. You know, if you go in the old way to upload docs and it says your listing is being, the listing is being edited, go back to that listing and hit the cancel button at the bottom. Hit that cancel button. All that goes away with the new ad edit. That won't be an issue anymore. How do we notify Transaction Desk? We want them to email our files. That's just what Fran showed you, Gregory. So if you follow those steps that Fran just showed you, you'll be able to see exactly where you send the email to. And again, when you get a response, sometimes they send you an opportunity to stay with them as a customer, which is your decision. But so sometimes you have to tell them, please send me my transactions a second time before they'll send them to you. So just make sure you read the email you get, and we can go from there. Okay, aren't we just putting our current transactions on our computer and use again and again? You can put them on your computer. You don't have to open them at all, Helen, unless you need them. A lot of people are telling me they have paper copies or they have other copies. They don't even need to open them. But what you're doing is you're getting an email that has links to your transactions. And I guess I'm guessing at what you're asking me, and then you'll be able to open them as you need them, and it would have all your documents too, just in case. So if you have 269 transactions in Multi and request them, then you receive the email with the links. Will there be 269 links in that email? If they do their job, there will be, Edward. There'll be 269 links in that email. That is accurate. You might want to go ahead and ask for your transactions to make sure. And if you're stumbling, if you get some pushback, if there's any issues, call me and I'll see what I can do to help you. Pam, I'm very impressed with the speed of being able to upload docs, make changes to formatting on the smart forms, and so much more. Thanks again. You're welcome, Pam. Maybe you could come in and we'll call you to do some testimonials for us. Right now, admins can only impersonate agents within their office, but if you're in a multiple office, you cannot impersonate an agent from another office. Yes, Jeffrey, I know how to solve this one. The admin that wants to be able to impersonate agents within other offices has to be in the system at the head office. So in your case, I'm going to guess you're with C21 row. They would have to be at wherever we have the C21 row office as the head office, whether it be Farmington or West Bloomfield or Commerce. The admin has to be at that office with those rights, and then they'd be able to impersonate agents from another office. You can call me or you can call Tammy and we can help you with that, Jeff, but it can be done. It can be done. We had that change made. Oh, no, not today. Okay, you're talking previously. Go down a little bit, friend. Let me see the next one. See what Andy has to say. Okay, okay. We had a system. Oh, yeah, we did have a better photo system. Listen, let me see what I can find out for you, Andy. Let me see what I can find out that you will be able to do with those photos. And that was a big complaint we've had for a while now, what you could or couldn't do with photos. So let's see what we can do. Okay, few versions of purchase agreements. There's one from Ann Arbor, one from Detroit, one from Michigan Realtor, one from Knockboard. Same with other forms. If we want everyone in our office to use, for example, a PA from GMAR and use the PA from Knockboard, can we rename the forms and put them in a package? You can't rename them, Bill, but you can put them in a package together. You can pull them into a package and then tell the agents in your office that this is the listing package that you have to use for listings in your office. You can't put, I think you can put your logo on some of the forms, but some of them, like Michigan Association, I can't remember if they allow you to put your logo on those or not. I don't know for sure about renaming them. You can do what you want to do. I just don't know about renaming them, Bill. Let me get an answer for you. I'm stumbling here, and in reality, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to get it for you. I will get you that answer. A lot of really good questions. You're helping me for tomorrow because we have another one tomorrow. If I get some of the same questions, then I'll be better prepared tomorrow. Might have missed the answer, but is RealComp going to offer live chat? We have offered that in the past. We've had it available for a while. We just don't get very many people using it. So we don't always have it turned on because it requires one of our support staff to be monitoring it. And if nobody's using it, we'd rather get them on the phone. So we do offer it, Andrea, but I'll talk to our support manager and see how she feels about turning it back on, especially during this transition. But we've offered it for quite a while now. We just don't have a lot of people use it. What is the URL for the corp site? Oh, it's realcomp.com, correct, Fran? Oh, there it is. Look at Fran. Can they get there with just realcomp.com? Do they have to have the moveinmichigan.com too, Fran? Oh, wait.
Yeah, they do need the Move in Michigan.
Just log in like you're going into RCO3, and when you get to that dashboard, instead of choosing the MLS, instead of choosing RCO3, choose, there you go, RealComp Resources. There it is. Okay. Okay, I meant to say uploading broker forms into Remind, not taking 4 to 6 months. No, they are not. Right now, Tammy's getting those done in a couple of days. It's been really nice. She gets those forms ready for you. The links within the emails from Lone Wolf for my transactions, how long will they be valid? We've asked that they be valid for at least a year. Do I need to open each line and then download the files? That's for you. That's a decision for you to make, Arvid, if you want access to all of the documents within each transaction. then you would need to open each one. What I'm hearing is most people only open them when, you know, they keep them and they'll access it if they need it. But that's really up to you or your office policy. You're welcome, Andy. Jeff, what's Jeff say? I can't see Fran. Love live chat. Please bring back. Okay, will do. We'll see what we can do there. You're welcome, Jane. Is that it, Fran? Am I missing something? Did I lose Fran? I think I lost Fran.
Ah, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, that
okay.
looks like it's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, boy, 85 of you stayed for the whole time. That's pretty awesome. And thank you for your great questions. Do not hesitate to call us, let us know, you know, what other questions you might have. We will put all of these questions down and get some answers for all of you and see how we can make things work the way you need them to work. Please just know that I can't make things work exactly the same way as what you have today, but I will do my best. Oh, wait. I see some more coming. If we download our contacts to Remind and then ended up using our CO3, can we upload what we have now? So you downloaded them out of our CO3 and uploaded them into Remind. You might want to be careful, Sherry, because I do believe it will upload duplicates. So you may want to be careful with that. And if you've already uploaded them into Remind, let me find out for sure for you, Sherry. Let me find out for sure how you can do that. You may have to do them. I hope it's not individually, but let's find out for sure. Okay, Bill, well, let me find out what we can do, Bill. Let me see if you can rename them when you save them into a package. We'll find out for you. You're welcome, Larry, and I hope your day is blessed as well. I'm blessed every day, my friend, every day. You're welcome. Lots of info. Yeah, lots of info. Geez. When will this be available for hands-on training? If you're talking about edit, it'll be a couple weeks, and we'll be able to sign you up for some training. That'll be fun, I hope. Okay. All right, now I think we're done, Fran. Now I don't see any more questions. So again, thank you all. Have a great day, and don't hesitate to give us a call. We'll communicate the answers to these questions, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.